Greetings. Let's talk for a minute. So one of the things that you're probably going to hear, if you haven't already heard it 1,000 times in the SCA, is you need to get your name and your arms registered. And for a lot of new members and even some longer player ones, there's some questions about, so what does that mean? So we're going to talk for a minute, just kind of dispel some mystery there and hopefully answer a few questions. First of all, your name. That's pretty straightforward in concept, and that's the SCA would like you to, if you can, and we encourage it, but it's by no means required, to research a historical name from the area that your persona would be from and to register. Now, what does registering mean? There is, to make a very complicated process on our end, not yours, relatively simple in a nutshell. We have a administration, we have a bureaucracy, really, that will check your name that you submit against all the other registered names in the SCA. Make sure it doesn't conflict, it doesn't sound too much like anyone else's name, and then it'll add it to a master list. And once it's registered, the name is yours. No one else can use your name, and that is in perpetuity. Even if you were to pass away, the name remains registered. Now, heraldry. What does that mean? Some people don't know, and that's okay. It's not something that we really explain as much as we should, honestly. So heraldry comes in two parts. You have your personal arms, and then you have the option of your badge. And you can have multiple of each one, but for our purposes, we're going to discuss this one each. Your arms, in simple terms, are your pictorial signature. It is a visual display, a picture, and that picture says you. This is what you wear when you want to say, I am here, or you could have an artisan paint it onto a charter as a signature of something that you are signing off on. In the modern day, we can get you a digital graphic, and you can include that as a signature line in your SCA emails. That's done by some. It's very much a signature, a way of saying me, I am here, this is me, or this letter, or this document, or this thing speaks my words or my authority. If I were to send someone, an emissary or an ambassador or whatever, to speak on my behalf at something, they would wear my arms, which means I have entrusted them to speak in my place. That is the function of arms. Now, as far as how you draw your arms, what can they be, that is something you need to discuss with an armory herald. It's a whole topic in itself. We're not going to do it in this video. But once you have the arms drawn and there's been a preliminary check to make sure they don't look like anyone else's arms, they would be, that image and then some documentation would be sent into the society, and we would check it against the master list of all the registered arms in the society. And that would, if they're registered, they're yours in perpetuity. No one else can have a set of heraldry, a set of arms that looks like yours. Now, what is a badge? Badge is kind of the same thing and kind of different. A badge says mine, not me, but mine. Where would you use a badge? Well, there's a couple of ways to apply it. For example, my mug, I could technically put my badge on this mug, or I could put it slightly more clandestinely down here. Somewhat analogous to a maker's mark, but a little different. Now, suppose my badge were on this and I were to give it to someone. Technically speaking, that means they are mine. Now, does that mean, let's clear something up. Does that mean that they are my property, my possession? Are we discussing some sort of servitude? Historically, maybe not, but in the SCA, in the modern day, no, absolutely not. But what does it mean? It could mean they are part of my family. It could mean they are part of my household or my retinue. They could be under my employ. It could just be someone who I have said is under my protection, or they are my student, for example. In the modern day, badges are used rather often, even though we don't realize it. A police officer's badge, we talk about the badge, the term is ubiquitous with the law enforcement these days. In completely neutral terms, a badge still means that they are representative of the police force, but they cannot make the laws. They don't make the decisions, they have to enforce them, so they belong to the police force. And the law making body of your state or principality or location, believe it or not, they have their own crest, their own coat of arms. Virginia State Legislature, something I'm familiar with from my mundane history, they have a coat of arms. They have a crest, which functions very much like our heraldry does. And that differentiates them from the police department, which is the law enforcement arm, and people who are members of that department wear a badge saying they belong to that department. Another extremely well-known badge that people don't think of as a badge is the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And if you don't know what that is, it's the badge of the United States Marine Corps. And you can say badge, or you can say Eagle, Globe, and Anchor anywhere in the world, and some people are going to look at you funny. But if you show them a picture of the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, they're all immediately going to recognize, oh, that's the United States Marine Corps. And if anyone is involved in modern combat, they're going to understand that that carries a reputation with it. So anyone on any uniform, if you see the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, you immediately understand that's part of a very elite and respected military force in the modern day. And that is the purpose of the badge. It is a form of heraldry, and the emblem is a form of badge, and is still used today. Now, in the SCA context, do we still use it that way? Absolutely. Look up Lion Dragon Guard. One word, Lion Dragon, space guard. They are and were for a very long time one of the elite fighting units in the Kingdom of Ansteora, and their heraldry, their display is they have a tabard with a burgundy field on it, but they have the badge registered to the province, then Shire of Moonshadow, and it's a lion dragon. It's the front half of a lion, rampant with a paw up, one paw up, and the mane and the mouth open with the fangs and the tongue sticking out. And the back half of it is a dragon with a loop in its tail, and the Lion Dragon Guard. And there are many groups who don't fully know, they don't fully process the Lion Dragon Guard as part of Moonshadow, but they know that if they see the Lion Dragon Guard, they got a good fight coming ahead of them, because Lion Dragons are generally regarded as a tough group. So, and if you are wearing the Lion Dragon tabard, does that mean you speak on behalf of the guard? Does that mean that you have authority that you are the guard? No, it means you are part of the guard. Now, how does this apply to an individual or a new member? I know those are very grandiose examples. The badge, a badge can still be used, number one, to denote property. If you have a chest or a drawer, or a table, you can stencil or paint your badge onto the face of it, or onto a corner, or on the underside, and at which point that's a property owner's mark. That's kind of a generalization of how it was used historically, but still, badge says mine, says my positions. That's a valid option. If you are an artisan, you could, depending on your historical background and what type of art it is, consider putting your badge as a maker's mark. Now, again, how do you get a badge? Kind of the same way you get your heraldry. There are some slightly different rules that, again, is something to talk to a armory herald about, but you would draw the badge up on the submission form, fill out some information, submit it, and again, the Ansteorn College of Heralds would review it, and then they would send it up to the Society College of Arms, who would review it. And if there's no conflicts, if it doesn't look like anyone else's, it'll be registered, and again, it is yours in perpetuity. So, does that mean you need to go do all this? No. Let me just get this out of the way. No. Is there a constant pressure to do so? Yes. Is it something we would like you to do? Yes, absolutely. Is it something you're required to do? No. To my knowledge, there are only 2 positions, actually soon to be 4 positions on Ansteora, that require you to have registered arms and a name. And that is the King and Queen, and soon to be the territorial Prince and Princess of Ansteora, and territorial Prince Princess of Vindheim. Other than that, I have held regional offices, I have held local offices, I have been deputy to a kingdom officer twice now, and the question of is my name or are my arms registered has never come up. It is not a requirement. So if you're a new member, and discussion of I need to register my name, registering my arms, if that's making you panic and you're like, no, this is too much, cool, don't. And seriously, just don't worry about it then. It's not a requirement. But And there's the other side of this, and some of you are your ears are picking up like, oh, this sounds interesting, and I actually know people whose ears twitch when they hear about registering and bureaucracy and rules, and like, oh, this is interesting. Tell me more. A couple of my very good friends very literally acted that way the first time we told them about heraldry. Now, if you do want to know more about this, and this does make your ears perk up and it sounds exciting and interesting, then yes, go track down a local herald, ask them if they do names and or arms, and begin the discussion, start registering your name. And do you want to, now maybe you want to go do more, maybe you want to study this more, maybe this is an interest of yours, you want to do it for other people, or you just want to bury yourself in a book and read for 6 months. Seriously, I know people who do that. The College of Heralds and the General Heraldic Community of Anstior, and frankly the SCA, I'm sure would love to add you to their ranks. So feel free to reach out to any of the local heralds, or if you can't reach anyone, reach out to me and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction. So that is what heraldry is, that is what registering your name is. Is it a lot? It's a bit of an adventure, I won't lie to you. Is it a lot of fun? Yes, it can be a lot of fun. Does it teach you a lot about the culture you're representing, the history of that culture? It can, if you do your homework right. If you go in it with open mind, it can absolutely be an instructive and important part of your growth in the SCA. Is it something you have to do? No. For right now, if you just want to go by your real life first name and get to feel for the game and do your own thing, that's fine. We're happy to have you. So, thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the next event. Goodbye and God bless.